friends. Today we are at lecture number 6, dealing with forms of money. Till now we have talked about what is money, what are its properties, what are its functions, what are its ancillary functions, residual functions or contingent functions, and we have covered more or less what exactly is money, or to whom you call it as money, or we have defined, we are trying to understand what money is all about. Today we are talking about forms of money. What are different forms of money? 90% of a thought go towards coins and currencies as only forms of money, and due to which we are ignorant about different forms of money. Because, why is it so? Because whatever is exchanged via coins and currencies. So today we are going to talk about different forms of money based on the purpose. Purpose here means functions. Now what are its functions predominantly? It's a medium of exchange and store of value. And the other two functions being unit of account and standard of deferred payment. Today we are not going to talk about that. We are going to talk predominantly medium of exchange and store of value. You can find different forms of money based on its function of medium of exchange and its function of store of value. Now what are the forms of money based on medium of exchange? Now what is money? It's a medium of exchange which is used to exchange goods and services. Medium of exchange. How are you going to exchange goods and services? Based on that, what are its forms? Coins, currencies issued by government. Two, predominantly majority of forms of money, majority component of different types of money. Coins and currencies issued by government. Here government means what? The regulatory authority, which here in our country is the central bank, which is called as Reserve Bank of India. Now why government? If for example, say any private company starts issuing money or printing money, what happens? It's not going to have inherent value. Whatever that is backed by government, federal government, elected government, or government of the present times, has certain value. So anything that is valuable or anything that is having intrinsic value is used as a medium of exchange. Hence, coins and currencies which are issued by government are the legal tender. These are what? These are legal tenders. Legal tenders for exchange of goods and services. Checks. You write a check in favor of some person against a certain outstanding money, against certain outstanding amount. That is also one form of money. These checks are also used as medium of exchange. That is, you go to the market, you buy something, you write down a check and give it to the opposite person. It is as good as near money. This is what? Near money. If you remember, I had told you what is near money. Near money is quasi money. So checks form a form of quasi money which are used as a medium of exchange, and hence it's a form of money which is based on medium of exchange. Now coming back to the second function, that is store of value. Now what do you mean by that? A currency or a unit of currency which is having certain value. It stores within itself certain value. That is what we call it as inherent value or intrinsic value. Right? So based on that function, fixed deposits, the money that is deposited with a bank to earn interest for a certain period of time at fixed rate is what we call it as fixed deposits. So fixed deposits are also a form of money. Time deposits, right? Time deposits are those deposits which are backed by bank guarantees, deposited for a certain period of time. Those are called as time deposits. What is the difference between fixed deposits and time deposits? Fixed deposits are at a certain fixed rate of interest. Time deposits are those deposits which are made with certain fixed time or at certain intervals of time. Third type is deposits with finance companies. A lot of finance companies, they accept deposits, right? Finance companies, like for example, even your insurance policy is one type of form of money because that is going to be redeemed at a later date. Deposits with finance companies like Kisan Vikas Patra, right? Or PPF accounts, or those accounts which accept money and they are redeemed at a later date. Those are what we call it as deposits with finance companies. Bills of exchange. Any bill of exchange. A company, say for example, X company buys certain goods from Y company, it issues a bill of exchange. Means what? This bill of exchange can be redeemed with the bank of the buyer. That means A company buys certain goods from B company. A makes payment to B company using bills of exchange which can be used to redeem in the bank of A company. That is what we call it as bills of exchange. Treasury bills or G-Secs, these are what we call it as government securities. Treasury bills. Bills means any form of guarantee that is issued by the RBI is what we call it as treasury bills. These are all forms of near money, quasi money, right? So T-bills are those which are issued, which are backed by Reserve Bank of India or Central Bank of any given country. Hence, these are called as treasury bills. Now, why these bills are issued by the government? Government sometimes goes into a deficit against planned budgets. To overcome that deficit, treasury bills are issued by the government to raise money for infrastructure or development projects. Right? So, this is again form of money. Shares of different companies. Share certificate forms a form of money, quasi money. You can use that share certificates as collateral against loan. They can be mortgaged, right, for a certain period or for a certain amount of time. Shares, bonds of different companies. Bonds issued by government also. Those are called as government securities, right? Bonds issued by public sector companies. Bonds issued by private sector companies. These are what we call it as forms of money based on its store of value. That's all for now. Thank you. Take care. And it seems that a lot of students are not watching the videos. My dear students, this all effort is being undertaken for you to understand the concepts in a very simplified manner. I've been trying to keep the lectures well below the time limit, right? And I'm taking one concept at a time. So don't be under the impression that if you don't see the lectures, you're going to clear the examinations. Forget about examinations. Clearing examinations is not my agenda. My agenda is try to make you understand all the concepts in a very simplified manner. The video or the board which you're seeing now, this much of information I could gather from 4 different pages. This is a compilation of 4 different pages. So don't take it easy and don't stress yourself also. Try to understand, follow the lectures on a consistent basis, because every lecture is based on previous lecture. So if you try to miss out, if you don't see, if you don't view even one lecture, it will not be possible for you to view the overcoming or the incoming lecture. So keep watching, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you.